Idiosyncrasy as noun. A characteristic, habit, or mannerism that is peculiar to an individual. A peculiar habit or manner, especially one that is unique or distinctive to a particular person. The actor had a peculiar idiosyncrasy of always wearing mismatched socks on set. The chef had an idiosyncrasy of adding unusual ingredients to his dishes that sometimes resulted in surprising flavors. The author's writing style had a distinct idiosyncrasy that made it easily recognizable to readers. The professor had an idiosyncrasy of pacing back and forth while delivering lectures. The athlete had an idiosyncrasy of performing a unique pre-game ritual before each match. Jingoism as noun. An attitude or policy characterized by a bellicose support of one's country, especially through aggressive or warlike foreign policy. Extreme nationalism or patriotism, especially in the form of aggressive foreign policy. The country's foreign policy was based on jingoism, leading to conflicts with neighboring nations. The politician's jingoism was popular among some voters, but was criticized by others as promoting militarism. The media's jingoism during wartime often creates a climate of fear and suspicion. The rise of jingoism in certain countries is seen as a threat to global stability and cooperation. Jingoism can lead to prejudice and discrimination against people from other countries. Junta as noun. A group of people who exercise power or control, especially without the support of the general population. A military government or dictatorship, especially one that comes to power through a coup. The military junta took over the government in a coup. The political junta was accused of rigging the election. The business magnates formed a junta to control the industry. The rebel group formed a junta to govern the territory they had taken over. The junta ruled with an iron fist, suppressing all dissenting voices. Opulence as noun. Abundance or affluence of resources or possessions. Extreme wealth or prosperity. Richness or lavishness. The palace was decorated with opulence and grandeur. The wedding reception was a display of opulence and extravagance. The resort offered guests the ultimate in opulence and pampering. The richly embroidered fabrics were a testament to the opulence of the era. The billionaire's yacht was a symbol of his opulence. Panacea as noun. A solution or remedy that is believed to cure all problems or diseases. A universal cure for all ills or difficulties. The new drug was touted as a panacea for all types of cancer. Many people see education as the panacea for poverty and inequality. The company's latest product was marketed as a panacea for aging skin. The idea of universal basic income is often presented as a panacea for economic inequality. The coach believed that teamwork was the panacea for the team's struggles. Panache as noun. A bold and dashing quality. A confident and flamboyant style or manner. The performer's stage presence was full of panache. The fashion designer's collection was characterized by its panache and boldness. The CEO's speech was delivered with panache and energy. The politician's public speaking skills were renowned for their panache and charisma. The writer's prose was marked by a certain panache and verve. Proponent as noun. An individual who speaks or acts in favor of a particular proposal, policy, or legislation. She was a strong proponent of the new tax plan. The senator was a vocal proponent of gun control. He is a proponent of alternative medicine. The company was a leading proponent of clean energy. Many environmentalists are proponents of recycling. Rebuke as noun. A public or private expression of disapproval or condemnation. A strong reprimand or criticism. The boss gave him a sharp rebuke for coming to work late. She received a rebuke from her teacher for not completing her homework on time. The president's comments drew a rebuke from the opposition party. The coach's rebuke motivated the team to work harder and win the game. He ignored his mother's rebuke and continued to stay out late. Recapitulation as noun. A restatement of the details of a story or event, usually made at the end, in order to clarify or summarize what has happened. A summary or a restatement of the main points or ideas of a larger work or event. The book's final chapter provides a brief recapitulation of the main themes and ideas. The concert's encore was a recapitulation of the band's greatest hits. The professor's lecture included a recapitulation of the key points from the previous class. The CEO's presentation began with a recapitulation of the company's history and achievements. The artist's retrospective exhibition was a recapitulation of her career over the past decade. Recrimination as noun. A criticism or censure made in response to another. An accusation made in return for one received. After the argument, there were recriminations on both sides, with each person blaming the other. The failed project led to recriminations among the team members, with each person pointing fingers at the others. The divorce was messy, with accusations and recriminations flying back and forth. The political campaign was marred by recriminations and mudslinging, with each candidate attacking the other's character. The company's financial troubles led to recriminations among the management team, with each person trying to deflect blame. Simulacrum as noun. A likeness or imitation of a person or thing, especially one that is exaggerated or fictitious. A likeness or representation of something. The film's director created a digital simulacrum of a famous actor for a key scene. The theme park's ride provided a simulacrum experience of flying in a spaceship. The museum displayed a simulacrum of an ancient Egyptian tomb. The scientist used a simulacrum of a human heart to test a new medical device. The novel's protagonist discovered that her reality was a simulacrum created by an advanced computer program. Smattering is noun. A limited or basic understanding of something. A small or superficial amount of knowledge or information about a particular subject or thing. He had only a smattering of knowledge about the subject. The conversation was in a foreign language, but she understood only a smattering of it. The book provided only a smattering of information on the topic. The lecture gave a smattering of examples to illustrate the theory. The musician had only a smattering of talent, but worked hard to improve. Solicitude is noun. A feeling of worry or concern for the well-being or safety of someone or something. The state of being attentive or caring for someone or something, especially in a helpful or supportive manner. Her mother's solicitude was evident in the way she packed her favorite snacks for the trip. The doctor's solicitude for his patients was reflected in his attentive bedside manner. The teacher showed solicitude for her students' well-being by checking in on them regularly. The owner's solicitude for his employees' safety was evident in the strict adherence to safety protocols. The coach's solicitude for her team's success was reflected in the extra time she spent on practice drills. Surfeit as noun. An excessive amount of something, especially food or drink. Overindulgence in food or drink. The buffet had a surfeit of desserts. A surfeit of riches can be just as problematic as not having enough. He ate so much pizza that he felt a surfeit in his stomach. The surfeit of available information on the internet can be overwhelming. The company suffered a surfeit of unsold inventory. Tarnish is noun, a loss of quality, value, or reputation due to damage or decay. A thin layer of corrosion or discoloration on metal, often caused by oxidation or exposure to air and moisture. The scandal caused a tarnish on the company's reputation. The mistake left a tarnish on his academic record. The politician's corrupt actions left a tarnish on the government's credibility. The accident caused a tarnish on the driver's driving record. The tarnish on the metal was difficult to remove. Umbrage is noun, a feeling of anger caused by being offended or insulted, offense or annoyance. The CEO took umbrage at the suggestion that he was not a good leader. The artist took umbrage at the critic's harsh review of his work. The politician took umbrage at the opposition's attack on her policies. The employee took umbrage at the boss's comments about his work performance. The customer took umbrage at the store's refusal to accept a return. Aphorism as noun, a concise statement that expresses a general truth or principle. A short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or principle. He was known for his talent at crafting aphorisms that captured the essence of a situation in a few words. The Book of Aphorisms contains wise and witty sayings from various famous authors. The speech was filled with aphorisms and memorable quotes that left a lasting impression on the audience. He loved to write aphorisms and would often jot down his thoughts in a small notebook. The teacher encouraged her students to come up with their own aphorisms and share them with the class. Avarice is noun, excessive or insatiable desire for wealth or material gain, greed for money or possessions. His avarice for money was evident in the way he would do anything to earn a profit. The company's avarice led them to prioritize profits over ethical considerations. Avarice is often cited as one of the 7 deadly sins in Christian theology. The politician's avarice for power was evident in his willingness to betray his constituents. The avarice of the landlord was evident in the exorbitant rent prices he charged. Cupidity is noun, excessive or rapacious desire for material gain, greed or strong desire for wealth or possessions. The businessman's cupidity led him to exploit his employees for personal gain. The politician's cupidity for power led her to make unethical decisions. The banker's cupidity caused him to take unnecessary risks with his clients' money. The CEO's cupidity for profits led her to cut corners on safety measures. The investor's cupidity made him ignore the warning signs and invest in a fraudulent scheme. Decorum as noun, appropriate behavior or conduct in a particular setting or situation. The conventions of polite or socially acceptable behavior. The theater had a code of decorum that prohibited food and drinks inside the auditorium. The decorum of the ceremony required all attendees to dress in black. The party's decorum was disrupted by a group of rowdy guests. The office had strict decorum guidelines, including no loud conversations or cell phone usage. The athlete was reprimanded by the coach for violating the decorum of the team. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.